Now with 10 on the shot clock, he's going with Caroline in double pump, put it up and got it. What a great dribble drive by Matt Mitchell. Oh my gosh, right past Jordan Caroline.
Cannons rolling on here on a Thursday. Pete Fox in for Steve Hartman. And joining us now, one of the guys to me, Costa, I said this as we started the show, because I know Matt Mitchell by name because he's from the IE.
Yes.
Went to Roosevelt High School. I played against or coached against them in baseball. But I said the guy that jumped off the page to me or off the floor was number 11. And you're like, well, he's coming on the show. So I said, awesome. Matt, great job last night. Like, if you walked up to me, I wouldn't know who you are. I'm familiar with your name and your work. But as I was watching the game, I'm like, that guy is hustling his backside off. So you all worked extremely hard last night, and it paid off with a big win. But I thought your game was stellar and stood out among the rest of them last night. How did it feel to you on the floor?
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. It felt great being on the floor and just being able to play in front of the sold out arena and just being able to show what our team can do and come out and play as hard as we can and beat number 6. And that's a great team, and they're well coached, and they play hard, and they kept coming, and we were just able to fend them off.
Matt, when somebody has asked me in the past, describe Matt Mitchell on a basketball court, I've said, well, let's take a semi-truck and let's run him in the red at about 110 miles per hour, but under control, and then people will just bounce off of him as he's either rebounding or shooting the basketball. I said, you know what, that's Matt Mitchell in a nutshell. And Matt, it was the physicality that you brought to the game last night, especially in being able to shut down Jordan Caroline. What was it? Was it 3 offensive fouls you were able to draw against him last night?
Yes, I think it was about 2 or 3. But I just pride myself on trying to be a two-way player on the floor and one of the best at that. So I took great pride and great determination in doing my job and trying to do my best to hold Jordan Caroline to as little points as possible.
Matt, it clearly looked like the defensive intensity was part of the game plan. It was ratcheted up from the tip. When it seemed like you guys could tell and sense that it was working, did that give it even more energy and more momentum that we need to keep this defensive intensity rolling?
Definitely, it did. We knew coming into the game we knew we had to match their intensity and match their motor. And I feel like once we did, it might have stunned them a little bit. And once we saw that, we just knew that we had to keep going and keep that high motor and keep that intensity and just feed into the crowd. And that's what we did. And luckily, we came out with the win.
Aztecs forward Matt Mitchell with us here on the Loose Cannons. 8 points, 9 rebounds in the big win over Nevada last night. Matt, what was Coach Dutcher's message to you? Listen, the place was rocking like it hasn't in a while. Everyone had this game circled for the last several days to get there, and if they weren't there, to either listen to it here on Xtra or watch it on television. What was the message from Dutch before the game?
To play hard, share the ball, and to take care of the ball. And I feel like we did a good job of taking care of the ball and sharing and trying to get our assists and also getting deflections on the defensive end. And we played hard, and then we followed the game plan, and we were able to disrupt them a little bit.
Matt, how much does this season feel like last season at this exact same time? Because to us, it feels pretty similar, which is a good thing that you're getting hot at the right time of the year.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's very similar to last year, and it's almost exactly identical. We don't have the same personnel that we did last year, but we have the same record, and we're starting to get hot a little bit, so hopefully we can keep the streak going on Saturday.
Matt, how much do you recognize what's going on in the stands in the course of the actual play going on? Obviously, timeouts. When another team has to call a timeout because you guys are on a run. You came down last night and bombed a 3, and Musselman had to call a quick timeout to kind of stop the tide of emotion there. But do you recognize what the crowd is doing in the course of a play?
Sometimes, yeah, I do. You realize the crowd is starting to feed into what the players are doing, and they'll get loud or they'll get quiet, and then they got really rowdy and loud last night, and so I liked it, and hopefully we can keep that going.
What was it like when the students rushed the floor?
It was crazy. It was I loved it. It was an experience like no other, and it was my first experience, and hopefully it isn't my last.
That's funny you brought that up, Costa, about hitting a three. I don't know who exactly it was. It might have been Schenkel, but he hit a three at a key point, and here comes the timeout from Musselman. And I'm like, that's just got to be a great feeling to hit a three that causes the opponent to call a timeout. So that type of energy everything just seemed to be rolling. And the other thing that we noticed, Matt, did you feel like the refs Costa described it as a terrible job. I wouldn't go that far, but it wasn't great. But on the other side of it, it felt like they were letting you guys play. The physicality was ramped up. Did you kind of take advantage of that and sense that the refs were letting things go?
You don't really take advantage of it, but you definitely play into it a little bit, and you see the physicality of the game and how they were letting everybody play on both ends. And you take it and you try and be smart with it. And so I feel like we were smart with our physicality, and we were physical on the offensive end, and on the defensive end we were physical, but we were able to take charges and to bait them into it a little bit.
Matt, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I don't think the refs did a terrible job, but I do know that they were letting the physical play go.
Well, you and I will agree to disagree on the officiating. I know you're not going to say anything to disparage the officials because these guys might be reffing your games in the not too distant future. Matt, was Nevada chirping a lot at you guys? Because it seemed to me that it spun out of control, they started to lose their composure a little bit on the court.
Maybe so. Not much that I realized. More of the talking came from us.
Oh, okay.
And our our intensity and our will and our just urge to just want to play and fight and come out with the win. But you could sense they lost a little bit of their composure, and we capitalized on that late in the second half. And that's a great team, and what they do is great. And usually they will talk a little bit, and they have a lead. And so we were talking, and we had the lead, and so maybe they did lose their composure, and we capitalized on it.
Matt, what does it's the obvious question, what does a win like last night do for you guys, not only the rest of the regular season, but now with the conference postseason tournament right around the corner?
It does a great deal, and that's a confidence builder. I feel like going into the conference tournament and the rest of conference, we feel like we can beat everybody. And we should always feel like that. We should always feel like we're the better team that takes the court each night. And so basically I just feel like down the stretch we can get these wins, and knowing that we got that win last night, it'll help us in the long run.
Is it easy to go to sleep after a game and a win like that? I was up till about 12:45. I was wired, and I had nothing more to do with the win than just showing up and sitting my fat ass in the media seat and cheer you guys on. Is it tough, though, to relax and finally drift off to sleep after such a historic win?
Yeah, a little bit it is. Just knowing that that's the highest ranked team that you've beaten in school history.
Yeah.
For one, and then two, you had an electric win in a sold-out building. So I think, it is a little bit harder to go to sleep. I think I went to sleep around 1:30, so it's a little bit different for me and just living in the moment. But you just got to learn to move on, and we got UNLV on Saturday, and we can't take them lightly.
Matt, here's the other thing that you can feel good about. Those poor Wolfpack guys had to get on a bus and drive back to Reno. Like, holy cow, that's just pouring salt on the wound.
Yeah, I think Matt would agree. Their problem, not ours. Matt, it was a historic night. It was a great night. It was one of those where San Diego's going to look back, especially this season, and circle that game last night. As you mentioned, the highest-ranked team an Aztecs basketball team has ever been. Congratulations on the great night. Congratulations to the whole team, and certainly good luck the rest of the season. Great to talk to you.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys having me.